Hey guys, just saw Thallumaala. Oh my god, what can I say about this movie, man? It was absolutely insane. Like crazy stuff. It was so unpredictable. At the same time, you were so engaged with what is happening on screen. Had a great time watching it. As the title of the film suggests, Thallumaala, or a chain of fights. This entire movie is about a chain of fights. And how these chain of fights are stitched together in the movie is that there are 7 chapters throughout the entire movie. So each chapter begins with a fight and ends with a fight, and that's thus concluding the story of that chapter, and then they move on to the next chapter. So in the screen also, when you're watching the movie, every time there's a new chapter coming in, they update it over there. Okay, this chapter is about this particular story or this particular idea. It's always a theme. They introduce a theme in each chapter and they're covering that. So that's how you're watching it. And another thing is that Tovino Thomas, yes, he's the protagonist, he's the hero, the lead star of the movie. However, there are a whole bunch of characters in this movie. There are artists supporting, there are several actors in various supporting roles. Each of them is given their own space. So it's not a complete Tovino show. Yes, Tovino is the protagonist and he does a great job with his character. Malayalam Wasim, as he says. Wasim, his name is Wasim. He gets the Malayalam tagline due to an internet, he becomes an internet sensation, and that's how he gets the title of Malayalam Wasim. But I'll, get to that later. But anyway, so yes, he's the protagonist. He's front and center, and he's leading it, and he's very charming, he's very cool, it's all good. But at the same time, like I said, he's got 4 other friends with him. Each of his friends get their own screen time also, because they also have a little bit of story to tell, and they're also taking the story forward. At the same time, there's Shine Tom Chacko and his gang. They have their own story going on. Kalyani Priyadarshan is great in this movie also. She's it was in the trailer, right? She's a vlogger, she's quite popular and all of that. But the real strength lies in the very innovative way in which they've told the story, or more specifically the narrative techniques they've used. Like I said, there are several chapters in this movie. At the same time, it's a very non-linear storytelling process. So at the beginning, you might start off at a point in the story, and within 2 or 3 minutes you quickly go into the past, and then from that past you might go into the middle part of the past and future, because there is a center portion also in the story. So there are mainly 3 time periods in this movie. So they are covering these 3 time periods, and the story keeps going back and forth from that. Now, coming to the movie itself, the first half of this movie has a very frantic pace. Okay, I mean, I was genuinely wishing, give me 2 seconds to, breathe, because it was just non-stop. I'm not saying it's so much of a bad thing, but it got a little exhaustive. Like, finally, when they gave the interval, tagline, the interval block came in, I was a little glad. I was like, okay, I just took a breath. I sort of relaxed. It was just this very frantic, non-stop action and pace, and it's great. I mean, it's like, let's say you want to have ice cream, okay, and you have a few spoons. This is like they're giving you, oh, you want 1 ice cream, we'll give you 10 ice creams. That's the impact you're getting. It's like, okay, enough. At some point it gets a little exhausting. Coming to the second half, things slow down a little bit, thank God. Then you're able to, and because like I said, since the story keeps going from the past to the future, to the middle part between the past and the future and all of that, the second half sort of clarifies things. It slows down, it shows certain things, because some things are left incomplete in the first half, and they answer that in the second half. But overall, as a story, there's not much of a story. There are several characters, and these characters are put in several situations, and these characters are very short-tempered. Their first instinct or reaction is to punch someone or hit someone. As a result, they always get into fights. Even Tovino and his 4 friends, they become friends through fights. They actually, there's an altercation, like it right in the beginning. They see each other, there's a situation, they get into fight and they're punching each other, and it's again very cool the way they shot it. And there's a lot of color, and in social media you have memes and gifs, right? So they've used that concept in telling the story. So there are several points in the movie where they'll something will happen on screen, and suddenly it feels like a gif, or it feels like a meme. At the same time, these people are constantly on social media, so they're constantly on their phone, so that there's a lot of social media activity happening over there. There's a lot of color used in this movie. Special mention to Jimshi Khalid, who's a cinematographer for this movie. It's like every chapter had a different color grading or a different theme involved, whether it be how they shot the scene or the coloring or the costumes they've used. It's everything feels very fresh and very vibrant, full of energy. And coming to the real heroes of this movie, it's the director Khalid Rahman and the editor Nishad Yusuf. I have to say, director Khalid Rahman, to visualize this movie the way he visualized it and to execute it, there are several points in this movie I guarantee you will not have seen certain sequences or certain scenes in another movie before, because there's a lot of originality he's employed over here, and visually it's stunning to look at. So full points to him for visualizing this entire movie the way he did it and then shooting it. Also the editor Nishad Yusuf, like I said, there's a lot of fast-paced editing, especially in the first half, and that editing gives you a whole new viewing experience. Like I said, sometimes a story can be, when I could be talking to you and suddenly I can go into flashback mode. So there might be a comic, like a comic strip notation or caption over here that is saying, "Oh, the flashback," like that they'll say. And while that flashback is going on, another flashback might happen. So it happens in a few seconds, and then again another caption will come, "Mutt to the flashback." And while they're doing that mutt to the flashback, they'll go into the future, and then they'll tell us. Then they'll come back to that point of that flashback, the first flashback, and then they'll go into the second flash. So sometimes it can get a little jarring also. So as I said, it engages all of your senses, and it just thrills and excites you. But like I said, it's non-stop, so it gets a little exhaustive, and you feel a little tired also. Like I said, second half, things slow down a bit. In fact, I would say the second half, things slow down to a point where I felt a little bit of a lag over there. Like, okay, let's move it along. I got it. Let's go. But my God, you come to the second half towards the climax. There is a fight sequence that takes place in the, during a wedding. And, like I said, Tovino gets the tagline of Manavalan Vazi because of this fight scene in the climax. Again, I'm not giving clarity because obviously you won't explore that or discover that while watching the movie. So this is what the movie is about. Chain of fights, a lot of excitement, a lot of innovative techniques they've used to narrate the story. So for my final rating, I'm going to give this 3.75 out of 5. It is a high voltage non-stop action comedy from start to finish that will exhaust you as much as it will entertain you. Although there's not much of a story, it's very fresh and innovative narrative style makes Thallumaala an explosive movie watching experience that is better experienced in a movie theatre. That's it for the review, guys. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up icon, and of course do share your thoughts about the movie in the comments below. I would love to read them, and of course subscribe to our channel for more reviews and videos like this. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.